great honor to meet you. It was wonderful to watch your incredible performance. I'm a little disappointed, though, I must say, that there are no fat Shaolin masters.
There are.
There are?
There are.
So then there's hope for me. I'm going to be honest, as I sat there in the front row and watched this amazing physical performance and those incredible words of wisdom, you know what I thought? I thought that if I manage to defeat him in battle, I can collect those 15 million likes. But then I saw you punch those things and I gave up on that. All right, let's get to the serious questions. You're a warrior. You're fast, you're agile, you're dangerous. How do you square all that with being peaceful, being harmonious, and finding balance? Are those two values in contradiction?
I think it is just a different approach. I am very peaceful 99% of time. The reason why I can, in peace, walk up and down the street, why I can walk wherever I feel like walking, not be afraid, not have any type of anxiety, not feeling stressed. I think one of this peace is because, on the one side, I know what partially I'm capable of, which is in a way giving me that type of peace. And you see this, I don't know if I'm a warrior. This is maybe how other people see me or how other people call me. The point is, all of these practices, all of the Kung Fu, all of the martial arts, I do not have the intention just learning all of these things and use it against another human being. This is not my intention. My intention is not to harm. My intention is not to harm. Especially after you're practicing the martial arts. You're having different type of contacts also with other martial artists. You know how fragile the human body is. It's a very fine, it's a very fragile system. Yeah, and once you know how fragile all of that is, you are double so much careful about what you do. You are double so much careful about the people in your surrounding. And I think this is one of the reasons why on the one side that hardness and that softness, they are both the same, let's say they're the same attributes that are complementing each other. So this is, at least from my perspective, how I see the things. Yes. Because, let's put it straight, just because somebody is meditating and because of the sitting meditation mainly, or of the breathing exercises, you're getting into a peaceful state of the mind. But then you maybe walk out somewhere with your family and somebody starts to attack your family. What does that peaceful state of you bring you? You are peaceful seeing how somebody is attacking your family. Yeah, great. I don't think so. So therefore, maybe we have a little bit different approach. And this is also one of the reasons why the Shaolin Temple, since 1,500 years, is one of a very few Buddhist monasteries that still have the martial arts integrated into the way of living. This is not to forget. So it's not just a fancy learning the things in order to show off or in order to make any type of performances. No, it is a way of life. It is, you are cultivating Buddhist ethics and moral, and you become powerful at the same time. And I mention it once again, this is just my favorite picture. It's like in Star Wars. Both have the power, but they are using it in a different way because they have a different ethical and moral codex behind of them. Just practicing the martial art Just practicing the fighting skills without virtues, without a moral or ethical guideline, is going to make you a very powerful person, but not necessarily a person that you want to let onto humanity.
Thank you, Master. Wonderful words of wisdom. The second question is a more technical question. How hard and for how many years did you train to become a Shaolin master? And what was the hardest part? The physical training or the mental soul training?
Nowadays we tend to separate always physical and mental. You can't. As long as the human is alive, both of them are always interacting with each other. There are some areas, of course, that are more, have the tendency to tackle the mind, and there are other practices and exercises which have more emphasis on developing something on the physical body. But ultimately, we always need both in the same wavelength also. Yeah? So I would say the hardest part, in the beginning at least, in the beginning also I was searching. The searching. You search. You search, what should I do with my life? Is this the right way? Is that the right way? But what if I go there? It's the search, it's the choice, it's this. There's so many things that you maybe miss out on. And the hardest part to finally and eventually just start saying, okay, forget it. That's the way. That's it. That's it. Yeah, so one time, like you put it on the mind, and then you go. And to continuously stay on this way, not leave it. I think this is one of the hardest things. And it is not just in our culture, in tradition, that people know about what is the hardest thing. But just think about when we talk about commitment. So when you get married, you also give a commitment. You don't need to give a commitment if your marriage will always be wonderful and beautiful. You give a commitment because somebody already figured out that during this marriage you're going to go through up and downs. And all of the arguments and discussions that follow along with it. And in the moment where something like this is coming, this is now why you need to keep the commitment. But nowadays it's different. You even give commitment, but yeah. So this is like another aspect how you can really look at the things. We think about something, we say something different. We say something and we do something different. So what we can in a way also see just in those three perspectives right now, there's no alignment. You think about something, you say this, and you do that. So how can the universe know what do you want? And so therefore, this is where different type of teachings, different type of knowledge comes in to just give you a little bit the advice. Try. What you think on the mind, this is what you speak. And what you speak, this is what you do. And then it makes it easy for the universe. Now that you are in alignment, now it's easy that things fall into place because it's clear. It's a clear way, it's a clear statement. And so this is something that I maybe regard as being also like helpful, that make up your mind, to finally make up your mind. Nowadays, we are in this world, in the society, with a lot of possibilities. But as you can see, where does it bring you? Just to have a lot of choice, just to have a lot of variety, doesn't make the society a better construct.
Thank Thank you, Shifu.
Maybe we need some topics that are like more uplifting because they are very depressive.
Are you depressed? I can do those too. Is everyone people depressed? Well, well, let me ask you this: When do you laugh out loud when you watch fake kung fu movies? Because you wanted to tell me
No, I
something
mean,
else?
it's good. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is like this. In the past, of course, I watched, when in my free time, I watched kung fu movies. And that was my idols. So that means I looked at all of them and then I said, I also one day want to become like them. They look like they are powerful and they can jump so nice and they can jump so high and they can defend their families and they can defend other people. Yes, and so I had also, of course, I had an idol. And I definitely have to say that, yes, to have something that guides you is half of the way. To being lost and not have found a way, that's difficult. But sometimes it's really just make up your mind and then stay with it. So, yeah, just nowadays, I mean, I don't know, because of the technical and all the special effects that are sometimes being put into the movies. If everything is capable, but that normally we find out if we try to repeat the things.
Okay, okay. Do you think that there's a supreme form of martial arts? Um, and if you can tell just shortly, what was the need and how did the martial arts begin? Was it a necessity or was it an expression of an art form?
There is no supreme form of martial art. There is just a supreme state of the mind, whoever practices it. It's just like you have many different styles of dancing. There is no best style of dancing. You practice the one that you like. And if you have the right mindset, you bring the beauty out of the dance. And just like this, I see it as every type of martial art that is existing. They all have a very high degree of depth into them when you are diving into it, when you are allowing yourself to really investigate and go into this field. Yeah, and this is what we call and study the martial art. And in the moment where you as a human being become or get into a state of the mind where you understand that the learning will never stop. 100 years of lifetime is too short to learn what the field of martial art is like offering. Yeah. Then this is the moment where in our tradition we sometimes say, you are getting back to become a student. Yeah, and it's very nice, and thank you all very much that you refer to me as master, but let me also explain to you what is this master title. Yeah, master in English, Shifu in Chinese. Shifu always or sometimes translated as teacher or father. So Shifu is like the father. And the father has sons and the father has daughters. And this is, for example, the students that are inside the monastery. They call me Shifu and I call them Tudi because they are like my sons. And already in this type of way, how we are addressing each other, we can already see, for example, how is the relationship between us. The relationship is that in a way I am taking care of my sons and daughters so that they learn the proper things that I, as a father, think it's worth to learn. That's the one thing. But the second direction is also one day I get old. Yeah, and then it's good to have someone to take care of you. And it also means, of course, your father reaches a certain type of age where he cannot lift the heavy things anymore. So that doesn't mean he's not the father anymore. It just means the power, the physical power inside the family starts to change. And what the father was doing before, now the sons are supposed to do. But doesn't mean the father is less worse. Doesn't mean the father doesn't belong into the family anymore. He just is reaching or entering a different sequence of life. And this is also something that is expressing in a way, what is this community about that on the one side involves the Buddhist teaching, but on the other side involves the practice of the martial art. It is a small world trying to represent the big. A small world where you are connected. I sometimes had, or a few months or years ago, I was talking about the relationship from father to son, or from a master-student relationship. And one statement that I'm still seeing by myself is, of course, father and mother sometimes make mistakes. But there is no point, or there is no way to ever disregard them as being your fathers and your mothers. Because without them, you would not be here. Very easy. And this is just out of this reason, out of this thankfulness of being alive. Even if father and mother made many mistakes that I do not agree with, they didn't. So for me, they didn't, yeah, just to say, but I think other people have other issues. But nevertheless, sometimes one thing that can help very much is to make things clear again. Bring the relationship between father and yourself, mother and yourself, grandfather, grandmother and yourself. Bring this into balance. It makes you sleep better one day.
Let's take some questions from the audience.
Hello. Bună seara tuturor. I would like to ask Sifu, how does one know their own personal practice is on the right track? Și o să spun și în română, dacă cum știe cineva că practica lui personală este pe calea cea bună?
Yes, thank you for the question. I translate this. I translate this into the question, how do I find somebody who can teach me something that I want to learn? Yeah? So this personal practice that you have over there, from who did you have it? Who gave it to you? Because if I want to have something that at the moment I don't have, the first thing that I do is I look out, who has it? Who has it? Who has something that I want? So then at least I know, okay, there is somebody who is representing already something that I would like. Now we say in our tradition, now the second thing that you need to look for is, you look at the closest students or the closest persons to that one that you found and see, do they have it, what he has? Do the closest students have what that teacher or that instructor have? Because if they don't have it, and I'm talking about senior students, which means students or people that stay with this teacher or instructor or master or however you call him, that stay for him for more than 4, 5, 6 years. If after 6 years the students still have nothing like what the master has, something's wrong. Something's wrong means either he has the skill, but he doesn't want to give it, or he has the skill and he doesn't have the ability to give it, meaning he's not a good teacher. He's a good master, but not a good teacher. So in both of these cases, you need to look for another person. But if you find somebody who has it, you know this person is able to transmit it, then there's only one thing that you need to do from that moment on: follow. Just take the complete guidance and follow this master until you have it. That is the traditional way how to handle it. Yeah.
Yes, another question over there.
Bună seara! Aș dori să întreb care credeți că este scopul vieții. I would like to ask you what do you think that is the purpose of the life? Thank you.
Okay,
Such an easy question.
when you
So
only have
easy.
7 minutes.
But actually it is very easy. It's very easy. You give your life a purpose. There is nothing that is going to fly around here and you're going to catch the purpose. It's not happening. You have been born with the possibility of doing a lot of stuff. Don't waste your lifetime, number one. Number two, do something that is not just benefiting yourself, but that is benefiting also on a wider scale people in your surrounding. This was one of the slides that I put up there. Yeah. Fulfilling personal desire is of limited value. But having a global vision where you are embedded, of course, inside this global vision, this is something which is not just going to make you sleep well, wake up well. There is more that is going to be on your side. But at the end of the day, you need to give your life a purpose. Not wait that somebody tells you what is your purpose. Or not wait. Yeah, it's the same like with the sense of life. There is no sense of life. Either you give your life a sense or it doesn't have a sense. You give purpose and you give sense. That's the nice part about this life. Look at me. Since I decided I want to become Shaolin master, boom, there I am.
I think we have a question over there.
O să spun în română. Aș vrea să știu care este cea mai mare provocare a ta în momentul în care ai luat contact cu cultura occidentală.
I would like
Sau
to
dacă a
know
fost o provocare.
what was your greatest challenge?
Sau dacă a fost o provocare.
Your greatest challenge when you first faced and you first contacted the Western culture, and if that was actually a challenge.
Being perfectly honest, I grew up really in two different type of cultures. I always had the opportunity to know the Western culture just as I grew up inside the family house of my father and my mother and know the Eastern culture as well. So therefore, for me, it was never, it was always complementary, let's say. So therefore, I never even, to be honest, I can't answer this question. It never really bothered me in any sense, yeah.
It chose this. Okay. I think we have time for one or two more questions. We have the mic someplace? I can see the mic. Where?
Aici?
Da, acolo, please.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity. First of all, I don't want to take this in a depressed area, as you said before, but I want to ask, how much does the mind and the thoughts matter in a fight against a disease?
Against?
A disease.
Disease?
Yes,
A
yes.
disease, an illness.
Sorry.
This one is a difficult question. Yeah. But nevertheless, when I look at the world, I don't look at the world what is good and what is bad. But what I see is consequence. The way of how my mind, let's say, is functioning, it is based on consequence. I see something and I see the consequence of it. Because this is the relationship between the past, the present, and the future. At the moment, you are the way how you are. You dress the way how you are. You speak the way how you speak. Why? Because of your past. Because of everything that you have done in the past. If you went to the English class or you didn't go to the English class, it has an impact on how today your speaking skills are. So in the same way, who are you going to be in the future? This is also the question of how are you living your life from now on until that day of the future comes. So what does this explanation mean? It means there are no coincidences. There is no coincidence. If I take an apple seed and I put it in the ground, in case that seed was like a healthy one, you have enough sun, you have enough light, you put enough nutrition, from that seed will come an apple tree. It is impossible that you put the apple seed and you get an orange tree. It's not happening. This example may be still easy to understand, but now it comes to the sickness. That sickness doesn't come by coincidence. It comes from something that was manifested in the past. And I'm sorry if it sounds very, very hard, but I do think that the power of the mind and also the power of the mind from the persons in the surrounding plays a very crucial role to overcome this challenge. Because this is what it is. You are being tested. Tested once again in having a choice. Accept the things as they are and figure out a way to continue, or ignore it and start over and over again until the pain and suffering is overcome. Yeah.
Thank you. I think we'll take one more question. Yes,
But please, a happy one.
a happy question, no disease.
To become a Shaolin master, you have to be Chinese.
There's your happy question.
Mulțumesc frumos. So, here comes the point. I'm not Chinese. My parents were born in Vietnam, but grew up in Laos. Then, as refugees, as boat people during the war, they came to Germany. I was born in Germany. Afterwards, because my best friend, he's from Timișoara, and I know him since we were 4 years old, we moved together to Romania, and I lived here 5 years.
Wow.
So, So the answer is no. You just need to be a proper human being, and then the world is open to you.
I think that wraps it up. We had the honor to have you. Thank you once again for blessing us with your wisdom and your skills.
Good.
It's great to have you here.